The topic I was given was the century of 1910, and this is my speech on it. World War I left 18 million people dead. This war began in 1914 and lasted until 1918. They say that the differences in foreign policies were to blame, although the assassination of Austria's Ferdinand really triggered the war. Many weapons were invented or first used during World War I. Big Bertha was the most famous one. It was a 48-ton gun capable of firing a shell over 9 miles away. Each country also had their own special guns that were used. The US used the 1903 Springfield 30-06. Germany, on the other hand, used the Mauser M986 7.92 millimeter. Another country, Russia, mainly used the Masa Nagant M841 7.62 millimeter. Each of these guns were unique and had different qualities to them, starting with the US's 1903 Springfield 30-06 that was used in both World War I and World War II. The history of this gun was starting in the testing trials in 1892, where they tested the consistency, the strength, and the distance of the gun. Springfield Armory of Massachusetts, where it was massively produced, and the characteristics of the gun is the bolt action with 15 rounds per minute, 900 rounds per hour. Additions to this gun later in its life was a grenade launcher and muzzle for increased damage and accuracy. Next, the German most frequently used gun, Mauser M986, 7.92 millimeter. The uniqueness of this gun was the bayonet for hand-to-hand combat and the blued metal for resistance to rust and damages. The drawbacks was that it can't be mass-produced and pour close shooting since it was extremely heavy. Characteristics, it was also a bolt action just like the Springfield, an open sight so you didn't have to look down the scope, and a leather sling for carrying because of its weight. Lastly, the Russians' main rifle, the Masa Nagant M1891 7.62 millimeter. Characteristics of this gun was the most successful bolt action of its time and a long-range sniper rifle. The creators were Peter Paul and William Mauser. Additions were a larger scope for increased range and a permanent bayonet for hand-to-hand combat. From 1914 to 1918, these guns did their damage, and their advancement of our infantry is only getting stronger. In closing, these three weapons have taken millions of lives and most likely millions more in the future.